Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is 3000 Years of Longing. So I know this is like Tilda Swinton, she finds a genie in a bottle and it's Idris Elba. That's like the synopsis, that's pretty much all I know before going into this. George Miller directs. It's one I've been wanting to watch for quite a while now, so before we jump into this, be sure to check out the Patreon page. Over there you can find full-length versions of these reactions, polls so you can vote for what's next, and the diamond tier, the top tier. Once a month you get to choose a movie reaction from me. This video was a diamond tier request, so thank you very much for your support. Let's just jump right in. Is that whale sounds? Whale song? Yeah, it sounds underwater at least. And the title, I'm assuming, has been in the genie has been in the bottle for 3000 years.
My story is true. You're more likely to believe me, however, if I tell it as a fairy tale.
It's an unbelievable true story.
When humans hurtled across the sky on metal wings. When they wore webbed feet and walked on the bottom of the sea.
I like the way you have a romanticizing human life and technology and stuff. That was cool.
And the timeless cities of the Levant.
Oh, yeah, great transition.
This way.
Excuse me.
This way.
Ooh.
What are you doing? Can you let go, please?
The mysteries of Istanbul.
Yeah, some energy. Whoa. Oh, at the back of his head, what was that?
Interesting.
He was hot to touch.
Yeah, we saw when he touched her hand, it had like a, yeah, it might have been a djinn. Her hand, it was like ghosting almost.
In this room, she wrote Murder on the Orient.
Oh, wow. They seem pretty loaded, some of these scholars, literary scholars, they are.
How can you explain the seasons? Autumn through winter to spring and summer if you don't know that the earth...
Oh, you kind of use the power of story, yeah.
We gave name to the unknown forces behind all wonder and catastrophe by telling each other.
Oh, she's singing that ghost, yeah.
By telling each other stories.
Let me show you. We told tales of specific power...
What was the saying? It's like, magic is just science we don't understand yet, you know? The supernatural is just what we don't understand. If these ghosts and jinns are real, once she starts to understand them, they become the norm again. Lose their mysticism.
Even today.
Well, it's getting closer.
Mythology is what we knew back then. Science is what we know so far.
Yes, exactly what I was saying.
Sooner or later,
She's doing well at keeping composure.
and all gods and monsters are reduced to metaphor.
Oh, he's kind of contesting that, yeah. That's cool. The Snorri cam. Very close up Snorri cam though. Or maybe not even. It's transitioned out. Some great transitions here. The airplane to the luggage cart, then the sound of the clapping to that. I wonder, so that kind of ghost she saw, kind of contesting what she was saying. I wonder if this film is kind of contesting the fact is that there is room for kind of wonder and mysticism.
Sometimes you can see specks of blood from the lungs of the glass blowers.
Oh, wow.
It's more likely a recent imitation.
This is obviously, she's been drawn to it though.
Yes, but no crusts. Just one.
Also at the start, she said she was kind of happily independent and single. I wonder if that's going to get challenged as well. She's going to find love somehow. Oh, a lot of it's coming off. Okay, there we go, yeah. Being freed. Whoa, starting a fire as well, though. You might need to change size, shrink down, yeah.
Close my eyes and count to 3, after which I would be grateful if you would be gone.
She doesn't seem too shocked by all of this happening.
3.
Or maybe that she's confirming that it's real and not just her imagination.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I like her little peek there as well when she was counting. Yeah, there is this like energy.
I don't suppose you speak English? Deutsch?
Oh, of course, yeah, the language.
Mathemata tina eschon en didacterio.
Yeah, she's very smart. All of those languages.
Rian tauten sosemi. Tutu henka desmio semi. Ei haastereis pragmatos.
Yeah, the classic 3 wishes, of course.
Zetei hofen. Epithumia sapeirus.
Oh, observing information from those books. Maybe he's learned English.
Siseme. Athanatos estin.
Oh,
Tunamai hamartian lutrosa.
well, that's the whole internet. That's all information ever.
Estin anthropos mikros uto.
Estin utos magos estin. Mas prosmelon. Einstein.
Einstein. Magos eis sutes musa.
Yeah, it's how you kind of describe language. If someone doesn't have the word, you describe it as a wizard instead of a scientist.
This English is straightforward. Its rules quickly learn, I find.
Pulled him out, wow. Wait, is he... Yeah, he's like sentient.
Yourself?
No, that can't be good for him. Put him back. No, put him back.
Is that your wish?
No, it's your obligation.
Yeah, you can't make the wish just undoing something that he's done.
Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Take some time to think over the questions. Yeah, you gotta
I have all the time in the world.
think it through thoroughly.
A solitary creature by nature. And this boy, Enzo,
Oh, in the book.
out of an emptiness.
She gonna like wish for him into real life? Wish him into life?
So, after a time, I burned it all in the school furnace.
Oh. Which might be as simple as to just get the book back. There we go, a bit more down to size. Still very big, very tall.
That was my 3rd incarceration.
You've been trapped in a bottle 3 times.
I may be a djinn, but I'm also a fool with 2 bodies. Came from across the deserts to woo her.
Didn't she go to him?
She's getting a whole kind of
It's in all the holy books.
history updated here.
Madam, I was there. Solomon came to her.
Everything's being rewritten. I was wondering if they were going to show her face because we saw her from behind twice there. I was like, she's beauty herself. She's beauty itself. Maybe they won't show her.
He began with me.
Because who can you cast as beauty itself? Although she does look very beautiful, this woman doing it. Ooh, what's this little creature? Little octopus looking thing. Yeah, this instrument just keeps evolving and growing, yeah.
I was lost. But I, like
Oh, wow.
her, that her body was rich and lovely, but her mind...
You mentioned the hair on the legs, I don't think it would be like that.
Then he looked into her eyes and told her what women most desire.
Not telling us, the audience.
And so she granted him what he most desired, which was to wed her and be taken to her bed.
How does this imprison the jinn though? He does it.
He was a great magician and imprisoned me.
Yeah, he has some great powers. But then he's captured 2 other times after this. Is that also because of a woman? Sounded like that's what he was saying.
And so I was cast into the Red Sea and languished for 2,500 years.
That's 2.5 of the 3,000 years accounted for.
For a jinn, it is the closest we ever come to death.
But it's never permanent.
What women most desire?
Yeah.
Do you not know? If you do not know, I cannot tell you.
Well, surely we don't all want the same thing.
Is it an answer that is different depending on what woman you say it to?
It's not much of a story.
But it is a story, it is your story, and it is always wise to understand those who have a hold on you, please.
Yeah, he wants to get to know her, and then maybe he can suggest some wishes as well. Find out what she wants.
We pass the years comfortably.
Oh,
As it happens, it all...
she was gonna have a child named Enzo. She said she isn't a mother.
I suspect that's why I like stories. I find feelings through stories.
But not through real life.
I might grieve at loss and betrayal, but no, in fact, I was free.
Sometimes you grieve the relationship before you even leave it, you know? If she'd already mentally clocked out much before.
See, I know all the stories there are about trickster jinn and the ways in which they manipulate wishing to their own ends. How do you know you can rely on me?
Well, I hope so.
She knows all the stories. She knows what to avoid. Got to be very precise with your wishes as well. Think them through.
There's no story about wishing that is not a cautionary tale.
Very true. A lot of, cautionary tales about wanting and desire.
Well, what if I made no wish at all?
Pardon?
You just got a companion to have with you.
That would be...
Is that some of his rage coming through? Just thinking about it?
I need to tell you about my next incarceration.
I'm all ears.
Yeah, learning a lot of his story as well, cutting back between the two.
The fall of an empire.
Oh, he was just placed in a wall for a while.
And a girl in love.
See, love does seem to be a bit of a through line here. We haven't had title cards up until now.
The bottle.
Until you got your 3 wishes.
Until she got hers. Please.
Yeah, she's very cynical of the 3 wishes.
Had I known what was to come, I would have risked the furies of Iblis to vehemently distract her from...
Oh, really?
But without thinking, I took my bottle and conjured oils to prepare her.
Can he deny a wish? Maybe not, but you can like encourage them against it.
But she had already decided on her second wish.
Dilerim ki şehzadeye bir oğul vereyim.
Oh.
Lanet bana dileğimi. Şimdi. Şimdi.
Sabret. Such a mistake.
How did the wishes work? Because he was like manipulating him to fall for her. He can't just summon a baby in a womb, can he? It seems like he needs to... It almost seems like he needs to kind of manipulate the wishes to become true. Obviously, we've seen them sleep together anyway, so...
His voice was crushed and his breath stopped by the string of his father's bow.
Oh, it's his father's bow. Wow. She's still got one more wish, though. After she hear the news, what's going to happen?
Şehzade var, o beni korur.
Yapamaz ki. Dinle. Hadi.
O beni sever.
Oh, he's not revealing that he's dead. He held that information for a bit. Oh, the movement, yeah. Oh. Yeah, so she just never makes that last wish, dies before.
But you were rendered invisible.
Like a ghost, wandering unseen.
And your bottle.
But he was put back in the bottle somehow because he had one more imprisonment. A giantess. It's funny we get in the title cards for the stories now, but that initial story that he did, we didn't get one for. So he can sense him. Oh, just saw the dead pigeon there.
And just as I am about to be delivered into their hands, their mother finds them.
Ah,
The widow of the Sultan Ahmed I, and the boys are next in line for the throne.
a lot of stories to do with royalty here, isn't it?
Legs. I know that somewhere in Murad's blood
Ah,
is the power of a
that's why you get sense. Makes sense.
jinn to draw him back to the stone, but at the age of 11, he ascends the throne and becomes Sultan Murad IV.
At 11, wow.
Intrigues, he is even more lost to me. At 20, he leads his armies to war.
Oh, so you had to wait a lot longer.
I despair of ever seeing him again.
But also now he's been in battles and things. What kind of wishes would he take then, you know?
War had truly rotten.
Ah. He also continue fighting then? Find somewhere else to invade or something?
He believes he's invincible. And to rule indefinitely, he must be rid of all rivals.
Oh, including his own brother. Oh. I wouldn't go anywhere near that hand.
Somehow she needed to distract him from his bloodlust with other gratifications.
If Ibrahim is sole purpose to have a son, can she maybe find love for him?
She sends to find from all corners of the empire the best storytellers.
Doesn't seem to entertain him though.
There is only one who has the ability to enchant him, to soothe with stories.
Stories do have the power to change people as well. If he tells a story of peace, you know, every story has meaning. You might be able to change him. Oh wow, look at that. Swapping the seats, him sitting in the throne.
When the old man dies, all in the palace flee to the streets, for they fear Murad's grief will incur fresh.
Yeah.
But he just sits and howls and drinks until he is empty.
Now he might just wish for him back.
And my patience is rewarded. For in this state, I am finally able to
Well,
pay attention to him.
he's had to have a ton of patience. He was in for 2,500 years.
Too weak even to turn the latch.
Wow. So he never gets it.
Well, actually, I can.
Can you imagine the loneliness? How it might over.
She has been isolated for a long time too.
Ibrahim, I suppose, becomes Sultan.
Ibrahim has to be dragged.
Yeah. Does he ever bear a child who could then pass that kind of jinn sensing ability on?
Bath, it would not have overfilled. Had she not been clumsy as she walked across the floor, she would not have slipped.
Oh, really? That's how it... I was worried she was going to slip, hit her head and like die and find the bottle, but she did actually find it. He was so desperate after all of that time.
I wish you were back in your bottle at the bottom.
Ah, wow.
So here I am, fallen into your careful hands.
It's a different bottle though. It's not the same one. There's one more story, is there?
Why not?
I'm not getting back in the bottle.
Well, I am not making 3 wishes.
Then you are sending me to my oblivion.
Oh.
She could just wish for something simple, like I wish for a bottle of water in my hand, and I wish for something else, just little small things.
Number 2. I wish for a sip of this tea.
For some reason, these aren't going to work.
Precisely because I cried out my heart's desire. Only by granting you yours may I earn my release.
Yes, well, I appreciate the symmetry.
So he needs to get her desire for him to be released as well.
You know, I am beginning to wish we'd never met.
Oh. Yeah, be careful.
That's happened to you before.
It was bad. It was bitter.
Okay, this is the final story. It reverses time as well, though, doesn't it? Changes time.
And this is the story you've been avoiding telling me all along.
The most painful one yet. He'd been swallowed by a fish. Oh, stages of this chapter. Okay. Oh, the stages of him forming. Yeah. Wow, yeah, she's really smart. She invented moving picture there. Yeah, turn the wheel. Look through the viewfinder.
She could have been remembered like the genius Da Vinci.
Yeah, just gonna say.
With the talk of sultans and kings.
But because she was trapped here, she never got to kind of publish it.
Except she said if she were a man, her intellect would have been ordinarily accepted.
Mm-hmm.
A woman ardent for learning, and I knew what her first wish would be.
To be a man. Or just, I was thinking that would be a way around it, I guess. She wants all knowledge. Wow. That'd be a bit overwhelming.
And it delighted me to fulfill this wish.
That's a wish he can actually grant. But it might be a bit, yeah, too much. Yeah, the way the wishes kind of play out, the knowledge doesn't just get put right into her head. She still has to read and learn.
She could always call on Aristotle from a red glass jar, or Euclid from a green.
I'm looking for that one jar he was caught in.
I lost my heart to her.
Whoa. Yeah, big focus on that gulp.
And she flourished in every way. Totalmente.
This scar on Dr. Binney's cheek, isn't that not similar to the scar on Sophia's cheek?
I would tell her of my day and she would faint with joy and disappointment.
Yeah, her next wish, I was thinking, would be freedom.
I taught her to dream as jinn do, awake.
Changing how she experiences things, yeah. Oh, very cool, yeah.
You're electromagnetic.
As you are dust, I am made of subtle fire.
Well, you can interact with the TV.
She was carrying your child.
A child of fire and dust.
Oh, just as you said before, there can be children between.
I loved the fervor of her mind. I loved her anger. I loved my power to turn her frowns into smiles.
What happened? Because she wishes for them to never have met.
I made a mess of it. She began to accuse me of trapping her.
Ah.
I wish I could forget I ever met you.
Oh. But does she still retain that knowledge?
I have a wish.
Is her wish going to be to help him somehow? They're all going to be to help him.
Is it your heart's desire?
I'm certain of it.
He desires to help him, it must be.
I'm here to love you. I wish for you to love me in return.
All of them have been related to love.
Love is not something we come to by reason.
Yeah, I was wondering, is she actually falling in love with him, or is it just like was she wishing to be in love?
I'll leave for London today. Will you come home with me?
Well, of course he's going to come with. Yeah, it's all been that one day, that one meeting so far.
The air is thick here, full of insistent voices and rushing faces.
Very busy place, yeah.
You hear all that? Isn't it all too much?
He's survived worse with the thousands of years in bottles.
Studying the ways of others instead of upholding our own.
Embarrassed by our British culture, are we?
No, I am rather more like
Okay.
reflexly frightened of anybody different.
Yeah.
Everywhere one goes, ethnics, we are being overwhelmed and we're inviting our...
What? Okay, this is very sudden. Okay.
True, but human beings...
Is she hearing like things over the radio waves?
It's not a fact.
What are you saying?
It's an opinion.
She's hearing everything, yeah.
But you're both pitiful.
Shut your cake hole!
Pea-brained and pitiful.
That's better, a bit peaceful. She could wish for more sanctuary. It's not much of a sanctuary, this being your home, if you constantly berated by neighbours like that. Oh, I hate the way she types. A professional there, and you're one finger typing. Wow, COVID, yeah. Okay, just throwing that in there quickly. But she's being nice, giving them treats.
This is my friend. He'll be staying for a while.
They're not gonna like that.
Stories are like breath to them. They make meaning.
Just like her being a storyteller. Oh, look at that, like an eye.
Mosaic. And this small pebble, like all stories, must end.
I'm wondering about their love here, though. Don't know if it's a love brought through by wishing. Is it real love?
Oh, how will it go wrong?
Yeah, will something go wrong here? Maybe that is what's wrong. This is false love.
I watched a human look into the living brain of another and arrest the fatal bleeding.
Yeah, so many marvelous creations. Wow. LHC.
Which probed the essence of matter.
They're just calling it a gizmo.
And then I saw a dish, a great dish that listens to the whispers of stars long dead.
They romanticize it so much. Yeah, it is great.
All these astonishments in less than 200 years.
So much advancement.
Despite all the whiz-bang, we remain bewildered.
I wonder if any of that is influenced by Zephyr's knowledge, what she found.
We are filled with dread and panic.
Yeah.
Turn on each other.
But of course, you're human.
Can't fight human nature.
My impossible.
Yes.
Yeah, like her wishing for him to love him. Is that not just another form of entrapment? Being stuck here? If that's not truly what he feels, I don't know. All of this dust, yeah, these particles. Were they like coming off him before?
My love?
Oh, yeah, he's crumbling.
Try to speak to me. I wish you to speak to me.
You can do that, yeah.
Sleeping. Sleeping.
Jin, don't sleep.
Yeah, yeah. Something needs to happen.
We'll go for a picnic.
Is it just also maybe modern technology interfering with it? All of these electromagnetic fields.
A gift of oneself, given freely. It's not something one can ever ask for. I tricked us both.
Yeah.
I wish that you return to where you belong.
Oh, 2 wishes right in a row. Is that it? Oh, He doesn't belong in a bottle, does he? That's a very vague wish. Wherever you belong. What does the universe interpret as belong? Put Jack away in the basement, now putting him away in the basement. Oh, okay. I was thinking, is he just ending there on that note? Bit of a time skip. Oh, she writes it all down, of course, and that's the narration we've been hearing. Whoa. And there's still more to write. You're not done yet. Yeah, is he here? There's this wind. Something she's sensing. It's still there. So she wishes for him to be where he belongs, but it took that long to realize. Oh, he's physical there. I don't know. Was it explored how much he can like physically interact and stuff?
And they would grasp each vivid moment.
Oh, he'd just momentarily visit. I thought maybe it was like he found out he belonged with her. I don't know.
He promised to return in her lifetime. And for her, that was more than enough.
Okay, so that was 3,000 Years of Longing. Bit of a mixed bag here. There's some stuff that I really love and some not so much. I really love how George Miller crafts this script, how the kind of language is used to romanticize this technology and life and loving. You know, just the way the Jinn was describing all of the technology that we've invented, these miraculous inventions, and how you kind of use language, how Althea was kind of describing Albert Einstein, and to someone who doesn't understand technology, you use the word wizard. And I really liked all of that stuff, how kind of the language was used as well. And you know, her at this conference at the start is very much that whole thing of, science or magic is just science we don't understand yet. But also once you understand it, does it start to become mundane? We take technology for granted so much when technology is astoundingly complex. I couldn't even begin to describe exactly how this video gets to you, you know, from me sitting here recording to you watching this. But I think this film kind of challenges that and romanticizes kind of this human existence, which is really cool. And I really love the kind of first 2/3, just the Jinn telling his stories, getting all of these stories. Obviously Ophelia she's so obsessed with stories. She is a literary scholar, so of course she loves these stories that he's telling, and this exchange of stories was really great at the start. But I think where the film starts to fall apart is when she goes back to London. It just kind of, I don't know, it kind of halts in its tracks. I didn't find the kind of romance between them two, or the kind of drama around that romance, that compelling there, which is a real shame, because I think the start of the film was so strong. And like when they're kind of questioning love, what it means to love, wishing someone to love you, wishing the Jinn to love her, I thought that there was something compelling there, but the way they explored it just didn't quite grasp me, you know. And then the end there, he sometimes comes to visit, so I was thinking, oh, are they saying that, you know, where he belongs is actually with her? Or I was thinking, you know, they both have this solitude, they're both longing for something. I was thinking maybe she would just find someone that she loves and it would end on that, but it just ends with him visiting, and you know, not everyone finds love. That's okay. Some people live their life, majority of their life, single, and that is okay if that's what they want. They could have kind of left it on that message, which maybe they were going for here, but it could have been a bit stronger in kind of portraying that, perhaps. Yeah, I think that the ending lets it down a little bit. I think also as well, because the whole film is so kind of rich and colourful, and we're getting all of these stories, when we go back to bland old London, there's not much going on there. It feels like there's kind of this lack of a climax, this lack of like a third act for the stakes to rise, you know, even if the stakes are their own love, that can be high stakes stuff, but I don't think the film quite achieves that, you know. You could have gone, I don't know, maybe a bit more abstract with them in London, and things are falling apart, maybe the world's falling apart instead of the djinn falling apart, you know, and it's because things are off balance. There's this love that is being forced there. That kind of being cool, having the world fall apart instead of him. That's a way to kind of raise the stakes there. And these neighbours, this kind of like racial element thrown in, these racist neighbours, they're real talking points that people say in the real world, but I didn't quite understand their purpose there. And like, she was like being nice to them at the end, showing that love prevails perhaps over hatred. But what's the film trying to say with those two? It was funny because like earlier this week, I had an experience that was almost exactly what those people were saying there, what those two ladies were saying. I had a customer come into the shop that I work in, and it was just me working, and there was a group of 3 Asian ladies who came in and were walking around the store. Then another white lady who came in, and she came to the till with a quiche dish, and we only sold one size of quiche dish. She said to me, "You only sell one size of quiche dish. Why is this?" And I was like, I don't know, that's just, you know, what the company sends to us, what we're supplied with. And she's like, starts going on this kind of tirade about we should be catering to the British palate. And I think she noticed, obviously, the 3 Asian ladies walking around, and a lot of the products are made in China. And she seemed to think that the company kind of doesn't cater towards British values, you know, which I don't know anyone who eats quiches on a regular who needs multiple quiche tin sizes. It was just such an odd experience, and I didn't know what to kind of say to challenge it, or if it was worth the challenge. I just kind of gave her a receipt. I was like, "Oh yeah, here you go, see ya, thanks." But it was such a weird experience, and just those two there reminded me so much of that experience. It was almost like word for word what this lady was saying to me in the shop. Like, that's a very relatable moment there, I guess, dealing with these older racist British ladies, but I'm not quite sure their purpose in this film specifically. And I did actually like Dr. Bennett's kind of skepticism with the djinn. You know, her thinking, oh, there's some sort of trick here. She's not rushing into the wishes, which is good. You know, I sometimes, you know, think, oh, if I had 3 wishes, what would I wish for? So you have to really think it out, be thorough, because, you know, the whole monkey's paw, there could be some twist on it that you're not anticipating. Have to be very precise in your wishes. So I'm glad she like held back, and then we got these stories, these kind of cautionary tales. And as she says, so many stories about wishes are cautionary tales. Even this one, it was as well. It's all people kind of falling to their own ego or stupidity or their wants. They're all these cautionary tales. That's what a lot of stories with wishes are. So her skepticism, I did kind of appreciate, and I like that she didn't rush into wishes. It was kind of realistic, wasn't it? And I just really loved all of the flashbacks, all of the stories that we were told, all of the djinn stories, kind of learning his life, you know? And like at the end there, so she kind of wished for him to be in the place he belongs. I think there's a lot of ways you can interpret that. I thought was that him being free finally and kind of going up to this realm of the jinn that they talked about, where they just kind of tell stories kind of ethereally for eternity, but then sometimes he does manifest back down to earth and hang with her sometimes. Is that kind of how the ending happened, or did he not go to that realm? Yeah, that ending, I'm not sure what they could have done differently, but it does feel like it could have been stronger, hit harder, but it didn't quite reach there for me. And you know, how the jinn and her kind of reflect each other, that worked really well. You know, they're both these creatures of solitude, both trying to find love. And you know, if it was this kind of cautionary tale about jumping into a relationship out of convenience as well, here it's just like two people who want to find love, that could have been a bit compelling as well, but just not quite sure the ending. Yeah, sorry, I keep harping on about it, but it felt like it had so much potential up until that third act when she gets to London. Okay, so I think that's everything. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to drop a like, comment your thoughts on the film down below. What did you think? And if you really enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date on all future uploads. So yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you guys later.